Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar for the University of London's Bachelor of Science in Business Administration program with Coursera. My name is Ankit, and I'm an enrollment counselor here at Coursera. Joining me today is Matthew, a fellow enrollment counselor, who'll be answering your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll have Alexis from Coursera Marketing helping behind the scenes. In today's webinar, we have the honor to welcome Rae Roberts from the University of London, will be helping us understand the career services and the support our learners receive. We'll deep dive into a Q&A session with Rae to answer a few questions, which will be more career focused and shall help the learners understand how the university helps in their career aspirations. In the following session, we will also look at the general overview of bachelor's and the university study format and Coursera platform, admissions requirements, application process, and tuition fee. Then we shall end off the session with a live Q&A session where we will answer your questions. In the meantime, please feel free to go ahead and drop your questions in the Q&A box as we go along. Matt will be answering those for you. And in the end, I'll go through the remaining questions. So let's get started. So let's start with the Q&A session with Rae from the following slides. Before that, Rae, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Ankit, and nice to meet everyone this evening. My name's Rae Roberts. As you've said, I'm a careers consultant here with the University of London Careers Service, and I've got almost 20 years experience working in a wide range of roles from charity CEO through to careers consultant here now. So along with other colleagues in the careers service, we bring our background expertise in a wide range of sectors in order to make sure that we can support all of our students into whatever sector you might be wanting to go into when you finish your studies.
That's awesome. So let's head on to the first question that we have. So Alexis, can you please go back to the slide number 4 so that we can look at the first question? So the first question on the session coming from our learners is, for a learner who is looking forward to pursue a career in business, do you have any insight into recent trends in the job market?
Yeah, so what we are really aware of is that there are a lot of different trends that are happening in the job market that are actually impacting almost any sector that people are wanting to go into. So you'll see here that we run these sector insight events through the careers service where we're then listening to employers talking about what's really the latest in their sector. And we're looking at everything from charities and NGOs through to finance, through to consultancy, and within those, one of the big trends that we're noticing, and I'm sure all of you are aware of, is that AI is disrupting every sector. And there are a lot of positive ways, as well as ways in which this is causing a reduction in some roles, but an expansion in other roles. So one of the real key things to be aware of in terms of what's happening in the job market is to analyze the sectors in relation to what is going on in terms of the impact of AI. Similarly, every employer that we're talking to is really highlighting to us an awareness around the context of climate change and sustainability, and that being something that is influencing business strategy in every type of organization and sector. So those are some really key things to be aware of when you're thinking about what you want to go into and how you want to approach your career.
That sounds really interesting, how we approach students who are on board with the University of London program. Now, let's look at the second question, which is also a very interesting one. So what are the different sectors a BSc Business Administration graduate could end up working in? Can you share some examples of what University of London graduates have gone on to achieve?
Absolutely. So there's a real wide range of options available for you. Business admin is a degree that really opens up a wide range of opportunity. So really this comes down to you having a chance to evaluate what are your passions, what are you interested in, where are your strengths, and then choosing the direction for you. So we have graduates going into a lot of finance roles around accountancy, banking, general finance roles. We also have people going into marketing, going into PR, people working in sectors such as working up to CEO level in sectors such as the charity sector or the social enterprise sector, as well as within private business. We have people going on to take on leadership roles within their family businesses, for example, using this to upskill. And we also have students who use this as the first stepping stone towards further postgraduate studies. So they may then specialize in an area of business, international business, for example, and they may choose to continue from that onto an MBA, for example, later in their career. And all of these career options, we have online resources that can help you evaluate what might be the right next step for your personal career journey.
Well, that was really an insightful answer to that question, because we do come across that question quite often. So that was really helpful, I would say, from on behalf of the learners. Now, if we look at the next question, what specific skills or competences do employers seek from graduates with a BSc Business Administration degree?
Well, this is a great question, Ankit, because we've actually been doing a lot of research into this at the University of London. So what we've come up with from doing a lot of global research is we've come up with 10 core global employability skills. These are drawn from reports from things like the World Economic Forum that are showing us what employers are really wanting from people all around the world when they're going into the world of working in business. And if we move on to the next slide, you can see these competencies up on these little circles. And I think that one of the things that's really striking here is how much these are the kind of human skills rather than maybe the technical skills. So absolutely, they want someone in business admin to know your theory, to know your data handling and things. But actually what they're really, really interested in is how can you work with other people? How can you be adaptable? How can you be resilient? How can you be creative and innovative? And how can you make effective decisions, for example, or apply your emotional intelligence in how you lead or how you persuade and negotiate? So it's really important to think about when you're embarking on a degree, to be thinking, how are you developing these more nuanced transferable skills through your studies as well? And we've got a lot of support available for you if you choose to do this program.
That's, again, very amazing to understand how skills can be developed over the entire course, and it can actually help the learners who aspire to be on the program in the future. Now, let's moving on to the next question on the next slide. How are online students supported in relation to career development during their studies? Can you continue to receive career support as a graduate?
Yeah, so I've already mentioned a few things that we have available. So we have a lot of online resources. We've got a virtual learning environment that has some interactive resources on it, including those sector guides that I was talking about earlier. We've also, we pay a subscription so that you as University of London students can all access some really excellent online platforms. So we get a membership so everyone can log in with their University of London logins. So for example, we've got something called Going Global, which is an international platform. So no matter where you are in the world or where you're wanting to live and work in the world, we can help you find out job opportunities there. eCareers Grad is particularly focused around people wanting to get into consultancy. We're looking at case study interview practice. Graduates First is a platform that helps you with practicing for things like psychometric tests and assessment centres. And Interview Prep is something that helps you do practice online interviews and gain feedback and really improve your interview technique. And then we've also got an AI tool, I think it's on the next slide, is something called Career Set. So Career Set is an AI CV review tool that's been designed by careers professionals, and it helps you make your CV or your cover letter the exact perfect match for the job that you want to apply for. So we've got a really wide range of these online resources that you can access in your own time as suits you alongside your studies.
That's amazing. I wish I had this much support when I did my bachelor's,
Me
honestly.
too, Ankit.
That's awesome. So, would you like to also shed some light on the next slide? Uh, on my.
Yes, absolutely. So this is something else that can be done in your own time. And we've got 2 micro modules at the moment. And if you join and do the program, I'm sure there will be more being launched during your time as a student. So depending on what stage you are in your career, I know some of you might just be at the beginning of your career getting started. This is your first step thinking, I'm getting this undergraduate degree. Some of you, this may be part of a career change or you're trying to get a promotion. Either way, you're doing this degree because you want to progress in your career. And in order for you to do that, it's really useful to do some planning. So we've got this micro module that you can do in your own time alongside your studies that helps you actually understand what makes a really good career plan and how you can make that plan for yourself. And we have a professional impact profile and success micro module that really helps you think about your professional behaviors and how you're going to conduct yourself when you get out there into the work environment. Now, both of these are optional, but if you choose to do them, they will then show up on your degree transcript, which will mean that you will then get a careers futures certification alongside your bachelor degree.
That is nice. I mean, you are not just studying for the program, but you're also studying and focusing on your career along with the program that you're doing. This is really amazing. Now, let's head on to the next slide, Alexis, and look at the next question. So, does the University of London have partnerships or collaborations with companies that might offer unique opportunities for students studying BSc Business Administration?
Yeah, so what we've got is a range of different organizations that we work with to try and ensure that you've got an opportunity to really gain work experience if that's the point that you're at in your studies. So one of these is something called the Bright Network, and this has an online internship scheme running every year. We run specialist webinars to support our students in obtaining places on that program. And we actually have the biggest proportion from any university. We have the biggest proportion of students managing to succeed in these internships, which are really valuable things to put on your CV. And they're available in a range of sectors. So, you know, you might all have slightly different career interests, but you will all be able to find one that's suitable for you. We also have a work with a platform called Forage, which has online virtual internships, which are online employer-led learning that you can do in your own time. And again, these will give you insights into sectors. They're designed by leading employers in those sectors, and they'll provide you with information and a certification that you've completed it, that you're able to put onto your CV. So those are 2 examples, and we have an engagement team who are always contacting companies and looking for opportunities and for our students. And we do have, I think I'll talk about our Careers Connect platform in a bit, but that does have opportunities advertised on it as well. And we collaborate with employers. So and again, I'm going to talk about events in a moment, but we have events where we have employers speaking, and those are great opportunities to informally network with some leading employers who are interested in our students. And that can be also a way for you to build your network there, and certainly as an example of the collaborations with employers that we've got.
Absolutely. That is, again, very amazing. I mean, I wish I had so many options on my bachelor's, to be honest, because it was just studying and then we moved on to the career aspect of it. So let's look at the next question, which is, can you tell us about Careers Connect? How does this benefit our students?
Yeah, so I touched on this in the last answer. Careers Connect is, it does a few different things as a platform, but one is that it has job vacancies on it. these are full-time jobs, part-time jobs, they're internships, they are representing different sectors all around the world. So, no matter where you are or what you're wanting to do, you'll be able to find opportunities that are being advertised by organisations who are particularly interested in recruiting University of London graduates. It also has access to some exclusive University of London online learning pathways, which are specifically careers focused, and it is our events platform. So what you'll find on this events platform area of Careers Connect is you'll find events advertised that you can register for. These are both events that external employers are putting on as part of their recruitment processes, as well as webinars that we put on ourselves.
Right. This sounds amazing. So, Alexis, if we can just move on to the next slide now. So this is, I believe, how the Career Connects look, right?
Exactly. Amazing. So nice, interactive, easy to use website.
Amazing. So shall we look at the next question now? Yeah. So it says, can you share more information on the career webinars hosted by the University of London Career Service? I believe that you touched it minutely on the last few slides, but then can you please help us understand it with a deeper detail?
Absolutely. So these are the webinars that myself and my colleagues run alongside employers and alumni for our students. And what we really aim to do with these is we look at the data, we listen to you, we find out what sectors are you interested in, what stage are you at in your career, what things do you most want support on, and then we design a specialist program each session that offers regular workshops. So I think if you go on to the next slide, Alexa, we'll see an example of the autumn program. So you'll see we have events, a couple of two or three every week. And they cover all sorts of topics. So, career essentials, CV advice, interview advice, but there's also specifically targeted things to what stage in your career at, what skills you're wanting to develop, and what sectors you want to get into, and how to maximize the value of some of those digital tools that I highlighted earlier. You'll also see in the orange boxes here something called Ask Your Careers Questions Live. And this is a really amazing opportunity where you can come anytime as a University of London student, and you'll be in a Zoom call, sort of like this one with myself or one of my colleagues, and you can literally ask us anything in relation to your career, and we will do our best to answer it. And you can learn from the answers that come to other students' questions, and you can learn from other students' answers as well. So really amazing group coaching opportunity there.
Amazing. I mean, Ask Your Careers Questions Live sounds really amazing to me again. And it would be really helpful for the learners as well, I believe, because they, at this point, I mean, not just career starters, whoever is willing to change their career from one domain to another, it would also be very beneficial for them so that they can get answers to all of the queries that they might have throughout the program.
Absolutely.
Very true. So let's look at the last question for the interview session. Can you share some success stories of alumni from Royal Holloway School of Business and Management?
So as I said earlier, we have people going into all sorts of roles in leadership, in the charity sector, in the corporate sector, and in the world of business. And we like to collate our experiences. So I'm actually going to pop a link into the chat box here to our podcast. And this is something that you can access for inspiring stories of where University of London graduates have gone on to. And you can access that now, whether you become a University of London student or not, if get inspired. And we've got lots and lots of examples there that you can access.
That is amazing. Well, thank you for answering all of the questions that our learners had, which are career focused. But would you like to give some advice to our learners before we proceed on to the next session on the webinar?
Well, I think if you're here thinking about whether you want to do this course, I think taking a bit of time to think about that in relation to your career motivation and being really clear on where you want your studies to be taking you, why you want to be doing them, and that will put you in a position where you can then really make the most out of the opportunities that you have available to you when you're doing the course, and balance your time so that you'll be able to get the absolute most out of the program that you want.
Amazing. Thanks again, Ray, for joining us for the question and answer session. I believe it was very insightful. I mean, now I'm interested in the business administration program myself. So I believe all of the learners who are willing to apply for the program are now uh, all the way more motivated towards applying for the program again. So thanks again, Ray. So we shall now proceed on to the next session, which would be about about the university and the about the program and the application process. So the first thing that pops up in my head, like when I go out to select a degree program, is just not about the subject that we want. It is also about the university that we would want to do it from. So now, talking about the University of London, it was founded in 1836 and is one of the oldest and most prestigious universities in the UK. There are over 50,000 students in 180 plus countries studying 100 plus degrees, diplomas, and certificates. The program is led by academics at Royal Holloway School of Business and Management, one of the 17 independent federation members of University of London. Royal Holloway is ranked in the top 30 universities in the UK and the top 350 universities in the world for world-class research. This program has been designed to encourage intellectual curiosity, whether you're currently working within the sector or seeking opportunities in a new field. This program provides a foundation for understanding the diverse interdisciplinary nature of marketing and business administration. If you're looking to work for an international company or crave the opportunity to be mobile during your career, this will be an invaluable learning experience. You will walk away with an internationally recognized qualification and a global mindset as a result of studying across borders with colleagues from around the world. There are two cohorts every year, April and October. Then the next one starts on April 8th, 2024. Now, as we go on to the next slide, well, the BSc Business Administration is a standard bachelor's degree in the UK. The University of London holds the standard of this program to the same expectations of a UK Business Administration degree. The academic level and objectives are aligned with UK benchmarks. Your degree certificate will not mention Coursera or the fact that it was completed online. The University of London understanding is that a UK degree is typically accepted for entering a master's program worldwide. But since some countries' education systems are structured differently, I'd recommend contacting the admissions department of the specific university you're interested in to see what requirements they have and if there's a grade you need to achieve. If you require any document for your application, you can contact the university for any assistance at all. Now, let's look at the next topic, studying online. So to disintegrate studying online, let us understand how the modules are distributed for the program. So the bachelor's is comprised of 3 stages and 2 pathways. The general pathway consists of 4 compulsory modules in stage 1, followed by a blend of compulsory and optional modules in stage 2 and 3, which cover a range of key business administration and global business topics. The specialist pathway is human resource management, is dedicated to those looking to explore and further their understanding on contemporary human resource management practices and organizational behavior on an international scale, comprised of 3 stages with 4 compulsory modules on each stage. Let's discuss the general pathway on this webinar. Your stage 1, as you can see on the screen, has 4 compulsory modules: Foundations of Quantitative Methods for Sustainable Organization; Module number 2, Interpreting Management, Markets, and Consumption; Module 3, Information Systems and Organization Studies; and Module number 4 on your stage 1, or the last module of the stage, is International Business and Accounting. Now, as we go on to the next slide, we'll look at the stage 2 and how it works. On your stage 2, you get 3 compulsory modules: Employability and Human Resource Management; Module number 2, Strategic Management and Accounting; Module number 3, or the last compulsory module on this stage, is Operations Management and Marketing Strategy. There are 2 optional modules, however, from which you can choose one and complete your stage 2. Option number 1 is Managing Organizational Change and Performance. Option number 2, the Global Economy and Multinational Enterprise. Heading on to the last stage of the program, or final stage of your study. Can you proceed on to this next slide, Alexis? Thank you. So the stage 3 has one compulsory module, which is integrating management, business leadership, and innovation. Now, interestingly, this stage has 4 options for you to select from, and you can choose any 3 out of them. Option number 1 is brands, branding, and advertising. Option number 2 is international human resource management. Option number 3, the individual at work and globalization. And the final module is emerging markets and Asia Pacific business. Now, as we go on to the next slide, I've also included a very common question that I generally come across is, I haven't taken any online courses with Coursera before. Can you please help me understand how it works? So as we go on to the next few slides, you'll understand how Coursera delivers the program. This is an online degree from the University of London, Royal Holloway, partnered with Coursera. I'm sure most of you already have experience with the Coursera platform, but for those who don't worry. It's very easy to figure out, actually. I'll walk you through the main points and feel free to ask more questions about this during our live Q&A. The Bachelor's in Business Administration program is delivered entirely online through Coursera platform. You'll be able to access all the materials needed for your studies at any time, as long as you have internet connection. This means the most of the time you can study at your own pace. Many of our students are working full-time as well, and they are taking the education part-time as per their convenience. And if you're able, you can even work ahead if you have more time to study. You should expect to spend between 10 to 12 hours per week studying each module. You'll also need to regularly check your university student portal. The student portal is a gateway to all your additional learning resources. You'll find the most up-to-date information, including registration dates, examination dates, as well as more wonderful resources to support your development, such as well-being material, career development exercises, and student support services. Now, as we go on to the next slide, to help you better understand how the learning process works on Coursera platform, let me walk you through a sample course from the University of London. Right. The program is designed to fit learners' personal schedules, allowing them to study online at their own pace and vary their course load every term. Learners can access the courses from anywhere by downloading them to their mobile device and study offline whenever, wherever they choose to. There is no live attendance required as well. Once you log into the Coursera platform, you'll see the courses you're registered for on your dashboard, and you'll notice that the coursework is broken down into weeks. Each week will have pre-recorded video lectures, quizzes, and interactive activities. Learners watch pre-recorded video lectures and complete quizzes and assignments. There is a final exam at the end of every module. All coursework will be self-paced except for the midterms and the final examinations. Learners can find deadline in the course syllabus. Learners can also find their exam timetable in the student portal. The university provides learners with all the resources and study materials needed to complete the program successfully, including the essential reading for each module. Students collaborate on group projects using Zoom and Slack. Slack is a cloud-based instant messaging system, and you can actually connect with your peers on that through that platform as well. Now, as we go on to the next slide. So how does assessment work on this program? The minimum duration of this program is 3 years, which is the standard length of a bachelor's degree in the UK. But since this degree is flexible, you can vary your workload. The university gives you up to 6 years to complete all the required modules at your own pace. You'll have hard deadlines for some assessments and final exams, which will be highlighted in a syllabus you receive. Here, I also would like to mention that all assessments are now taking place online. Each module of the business administration program is assessed by 2 elements. The first one comprises 4 multiple choice question tests taken at 5 weekly intervals throughout each 22-week study session. They will contribute 30% towards your final grade. The remaining 70% of your grade will come from the assessment element 2, which is a 3,000-word final online examination held at the end of each session. That's around September and March. Also, some modules have group work where you need to work async with your peers, so please plan for that as well. You'll receive plenty of support within this program. The virtual learning environment on Coursera platform is where you will find your lessons, activities, assignments, and additional study resources. You'll also have an opportunity to join online tutorials with the University of London professors who will provide you with support and guidance throughout each study session. These tutorials are not, however, mandatory to attend, but I'd highly recommend or encourage you to do so. Each tutor has their own group of students to make sure you feel fully supported in this program. For any non-academic inquiries, such as course advising, you can reach out to your online student support team, who will be able to provide support throughout your learning journey. Now, moving on to the next step, the application and admissions requirement. So the good news is the applications are now open, so you can actually go ahead and start your application process. But let me guide you through it first. In order to qualify for application, you must be age 17 or older on the registration deadline date, which is March 18th, 2024. The University of London accepts qualifications from all over the world. I encourage you to use the link that Matt is now going to share in the chat to review your country's qualification. Please note that the University of London does accept many awards that are not listed on the website, such as non-listed school qualifications, diplomas, and professional awards. Applications are now open, like I mentioned, and you can submit your application before the deadline of March 4th, 2024. So make sure that you do this as soon as possible. It can take the University of London up to 15 business days to process your application. And please note that Sundays and Saturdays and Sundays are not counted in these 15 days period. The application fee for 2024 cohort is £60 only. To complete your application, you'll need a scanned copy of your personal identification. It can be your birth certificate, passport, national identification card, or any other certificate which gives correct information about your personal identification. Scanned copy of your official academic transcripts, translated copies if needed. It can be signed and stamped by an official translator. You'll also require to provide evidence of an English proficiency if English is not your first language. Matt will now share the English language requirements in chat. As a supporting statement describing why you want to take this program, this will be your opportunity to showcase the University of London why you wish to study for this program. Please give your reasons. You should include details about your education, work experience, and current responsibilities, which are relevant to this application. It is recommended that you write between 100 to 250 words on your supporting statement. If you would like your employment to be considered as part of your application, you may upload a CV or your resume, but that's completely optional. However, there is an early deadline. As you can see on the slide, you can get free access to a University of London course, which you can submit an application when you submit an application for BSc Business Administration degree by earlier deadline of February 12th, 2024. Submit your application for April 2024 cohort and study the University of London's Managing the Company of the Future as you wait for the classes to start in April. Now, as you can see on the screen, to start your application, you just need to follow the process that is mentioned over here. So start your application, please go through the Coursera's website and click on a blue Apply Now button, which will take you to University of London application portal. The first question will be asked when you start your application is whether you want to apply for standard or performance-based entry. To understand which route is best for you, make sure to check your country requirements by following the link we shared in the chat box. If you satisfy those requirements, choose standard entry. Otherwise, choose performance-based. The difference between them is that if you get accepted into performance-based admission, you'll need to complete one module with a weighted average of 40% or above before progressing into the rest of the program. The application itself is pretty straightforward. Please prepare all the documents we spoke about in advance, and then it shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes to complete your application. If you have any questions or concerns regarding your application, feel free to reach out to our enrollment services team at any stage of your application process. We'll be sharing a link to book a meeting with an enrollment counselor towards the end of the meeting. Make sure to submit your application before 4th of March 2024. After submission, please check your email box regularly, as the University of London might ask for some additional information You will also receive an email with their decision and further instruction. Now, if we go on to the next slide, we'll look at the total program cost. The indicative totals for the bachelor's is £14,088 to £18,868, depending upon your geographical location. Please remember, this location depends upon where you're currently located and not where you belong from. So your location falls under two bands, Band A and Band B. Please note, to understand the band you fall under, Matt will now drop a link in your chat box. You can actually look at the link and identify which band you actually fall under. For this program, if you wish to pay as you go, Band A countries by module, then you'll be paying £1,113. For Band B countries, per module cost is £1,482. Please note that the full program fee is not available to students residing in UK who access student loans company funding. These students should instead pay by module. Like we discussed, there is an application fee of £60. To review the fee in further detail, Matt will now drop the link to the website in the chat box below. Also, University of London offers a number of scholarships and bursaries for the students. The best way to go about this is for you to check the university's website to see if there's anything that you may be eligible for. Matt will now again share a link for the financial aid options in the chat box. Please note that generally you can apply for scholarships and bursaries only after you've been accepted into the program. So make sure that you complete your application and get an offer letter from the university before you go ahead and apply for a scholarship. Now, let's look at the next step after you have applied for the program and you've been accepted into the program. For those who have been, for the next step, after you've been accepted in the program is your registration. When you're ready to register for your modules, for which the deadline would be 18th of March 2024, log into your student portal using the login details the university will email to you. Once you've logged into your student portal, click the Register Now button and you'll be able to see which modules are offered in this session and register. You can study up to 2 new modules per semester. In addition to this, you can resit assessments or repeat modules if necessary. It's strongly recommended you take Foundations of Quantitative Methods for Sustainable Organization and Interpreting Management, Market, and Consumption during your first term. To complete your registration, you need to pay for your modules. The total cost of the program is dependent on your location. Matt will now share a link with the country bands in the chat box again, so you can check for yourself. If your country is in Band A, you'll be paying £14,088. And if you're located in Band B, you'll be paying £18,868. Also, I would like you to know that you don't have to pay these fees right away. You can pay as you go for each module you take. So this fees will be divided between the years of your studies. After you're registered and paid for your modules, you'll receive your university email address and invite to link your Coursera account to the degree program. There you'll see an orientation program that you'll need to complete before classes begin. The course covers everything you need to know on how to start the program and to make best use of your studies step by step. It'll go over program policies, how to navigate Coursera, communication channels to seek help, and how to connect with other students. You should allow up to 6 hours to complete this course. Once you've completed that, you'll receive access to your modules when the teaching session begins on the 8th of April, 2024. You'll have access to all your study materials at the start of the session, except for some assessments and final exams, which may be logged for a certain date and time. Now, we will head on to the Q&A session, and we'll also look at the chat box for any pending questions that we might have. So let us just wait for a few seconds to see if any questions are added to this list. Well, there's a great question over here. It says, did you say the certificate will not say online? Well, yes, the certificate will not say that you've done it through Coursera or you've done it online. It will be a bachelor's degree from the University of London. Well, this is also an interesting question. Do I need a business background? You do not need a business background or relevant work experience to be admitted to the program. Please see the entrance requirements for further information about the entry routes available. This is a very interesting question from Alexandra, as I can see. The question goes, in case I'm working on a cruise ship, meaning that I'm in a different country every week, what geographical location would be considered? So ideally, the geographical location that would be considered would be your residence during the period of registration. So once you are completing your registration process with the University of London for your upcoming semester, that geographical location would be considered for your payment towards that particular semester. I hope that answers the question. Uh, let's look at this interesting question, which I generally come across all the time, is can you describe performance-based entry again? The performance-based admission entry route provides access to the BSc, to the BSc for students who do not meet the academic requirements for direct entry. If you're admitted via the PBA route, you must first pass on one specific module before you progress for the full BSc. Learn more about the PBA progression rules, and we'll just go ahead and share the link with all of you to look at the different routes available to get into the program. Well, we do have another question which says, will I need to submit official transcripts to apply? We do not normally require official transcripts for admission purposes. Just uploaded scanned copies of your relevant supporting documents would be sufficient. Let's look at a few other questions, and I'll encourage all of you to put in a few more questions for us to answer and help you get them cleared before you apply for the program. Well, this is a nice question, which says that, is there a graduation ceremony? Yes, students who successfully complete the program will be invited to the university's annual graduation ceremony in London. When learners graduate from University of London, they'll receive two important documents by email: final diploma and the diploma supplement. I do have an interesting question here again, which says, is how long does it take to complete the application? Well, the application process is pretty straightforward, and you just have to fill in a few details from your side. You'd have to write statement of purpose, and once you're done, it would barely take you 20 minutes to complete it, honestly. Let's look at a few other questions before we conclude the session. Well, this is again a very interesting question, which says, is the online degree different from the on-site degree? Well, there's no difference between online and in-person degrees. The content is the same and taught mostly by the same professors. The degree certificate you receive will show that you have successfully completed the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. It will also show that the awarding body is the University of London, with academic direction provided by Royal Holloway, without any mention of Coursera or online format again. Well, here is again a question from our learner. It says that I'm 41 years old and only have 3 GCSE from Nigeria with no A levels. Will this be acceptable? Well, with 40, multiple years of experience, we would actually encourage you to go ahead and apply for the program through the PBA, if not the standard admission procedure, wherein your profile will be assessed by the University of London and you might receive a response from them. Well, let's proceed on to the next slide. And yeah, if there are no further questions, here you can find some key dates for the spring 2024 cohort. We'll send out the recording of this webinar to your a follow-up email, and you can schedule an appointment there. Also, if you have any further questions, feel free to schedule a call with Saddam, your enrollment counselor. The link for his calendar would be provided by Matt now in the chat box. Thank you, everyone, for attending the webinar. And once again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Do not forget to apply for the program in time. Hey, Rae, thank you for attending the webinar with us.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good luck with your applications.
Bye.